Hello everyone, welcome back to Neutralix. I'm your host cosolix, and today I'm telling you the complete guide to Unarmed Brawlhalla. This video is going to tell you everything you need to know to improve at Brawlhalla without a weapon. Maybe by the end of this, you might be able to hit Diamond or Valhalla without a weapon. I personally tried to reach Valhalla without a weapon, and I got to top 300 North America within 60 wins, and then kind of gave up because it was a lot of work and I got lazy. But anyways, this video is going to have it all, everything you need to know. And if you want to improve more at Brawlhalla, subscribe to Team Neutralix here on YouTube. This channel was made to help you improve at fighting games. Right now, Brawlhalla, but Multiverse is around the corner. 2x KO, Riot's fighting game around the corner. You're going to want to subscribe if you want to improve at fighting games from professional players like myself and others here at Team Neutralix. And if you want some personal coaching from me, or again, any of the other coaches and players here on Team Neutralix, go to the link below, teamneutralix.com. Again, link is down below, and go order a session there if you want. But this video is for free, so I hope you continue watching because there's going to be a lot of valuable information. And the first thing we're kind of doing is hopping into training room, and we're going to talk about the general attacks and then the combos and how to use them. So go into training room. The first thing I like to do is either hit the bot to the center. I'm just going to turn down the volume a little bit. Yeah, hit the bot towards the center and center them. You can do this by switching the control mode to bot. Make sure bot settings tab at the top. Go to the center, switch it to damage reset on, position reset on. Now let's go back to player mode. So what this does is it resets the bot, as you can see there. This allows us to input combos and whatnot. But how do we know the combos are going to be true? Let's go to the main tab, and what we're doing is show damage on, show stun on, show hitboxes on, show hurtboxes on, and item spawning off. This way we can hit a combo, and there we know it's a true combo. But if we do it too slow, there's a 2 dodge frame window. We'll be going over those 2 combos very shortly. Now that we're all reset, let's talk about the general attacks. So we'll talk about grounded. Side light is your horizontal light attack. It has more momentum than the other grounded light attacks. So if they're horizontal away, you want something a little bit more vertical as well with momentum. Side light is your go-to. Very quick, low recovery frames. The big thing with Unarmed is it's a very little recovery frame, so you can go for a lot of baits and neutral and stuff like that very quickly, unlike basically every weapon in the game except like guitars or whatever. But anyways, next attack is your neutral light. This is like an anti-stack tool. It even hits a little bit behind. Just a little bit behind you. But yeah, it's kind of like a boom boom, get away from me. It also sets up for team combos and doubles, but you do stand there, right? It's the longest attack unarmed of the grounded attack, so, and you're not moving, so it's a little bit easy to punish, so watch out for that. But yeah, if you're stacked, then why not go for it? Next is your downlight. This is your true combo starter. And fun fact, this is one of the best combo starters in the game. And you're going to see why very shortly. But this downlight combos into basically everything. Unarmed has so many creative combos that we're going to be going over. I'm going to be talking about the ones you need to know and some openings that will kind of help you extend to longer strings. But yeah, this downlight is your best opening to follow-ups. And we'll talk about the combos of downlight very shortly. It's much harder to hit than a neutral light or a side light because look how low it is to the ground. But it does have some good amount of active frames, and it is a bit horizontal. It's very good gravity canceling it, just because then you can hit both grounded and in the air, and it sets up in a very good position for some spikes. Again, we'll talk about later. Now let's talk about the aerials. So same with the side light. The side air is your horizontal get away from me tool. Very quick. It's also a nice little string starter. As you can see, that's like 3 dodge frames. A lot of these attacks that are string starters, I wouldn't go for unless your opponent has no dodge. You want to make sure they're vulnerable to hit these combos. Make sure that they can't get out of them, or they probably won't get out of them if they don't have a dodge. But yeah, Sarah's that little setup tool. It's also a get away from me, so like later in health, it can technically kill. But it's like a, you know, it's a punch. It's get away from me tool. The other aerials are the neutral air. This is your grounded neutral light basically, but this time in the air. This one you actually get a little bit of momentum with, especially if you like pivot it a little bit. I'm going to turn my controller on so you guys can see me pivot a little bit, just if you want to get good at those inputs. Yeah, now you can see it. go back to the game. So yeah, you can kind of like dash jump and then do it in the opposite direction. And you see how much I'm moving throughout it. You can nair in the air, not many recovery frames, and nair while like jumping or while falling. Unlike Neutralite, which you're actually standing still, nair is kind of that setup tool diagonal that it sends diagonal, but you can do it anywhere. It's a lot easier to land. It has this stacked, you know, a lot of good active frames. It's a very good move. This is like the anti-stacked aerial that you can rely on, but not really combo very easily out of. So that's Sarah, that's neutral air. Next is your down air. This is a string starter. Does not have active input, unlike Boots down air. It's very similar to Boots down air, but it bounces and sends at the exact same angle basically every time. So there are kind of technically strings out of it, but it's more of a... There's a couple uses for this tool. It's a good mix-up to mix up your movement. So like, let's say you're about to like land or something like that. Instead of landing normally, you down air, and it's very weird movement. It's very awkward. So it's very good to down air unarmed to kind of mix up a landing to get back to stage. It's a very good, you know, if you are diagonal with them, that is your diagonal option, even if it doesn't lead to true combos. You can even combo out of it like that. Or if it's on the ground, you could go for like, not really a jump nair, you could probably like chase dodge up nair like that. You can extend it, but they're not very good combos. That was 10 dodge frames, 9 dodge frames. Still, it's pretty dumb. I wouldn't rely on a follow-up of the downer. But yeah, in the air, you can go for like dare and nair without the jump, so you get a little bit. But this is a diagonal get away from me, you know. It's a diagonal kick, right? It's going to work like a diagonal kick, but mostly mixing up your movement, kind of covering that option. Maybe it's covering the off stage here. Maybe it's hitting them down. It's a setup tool as well, just kind of off stage. We'll talk about some of the off stage combos a little bit later. Now let's talk about recovery. This is just a punch up. Lots of great movement. You can hold this forwards or backwards and really change up your movement. Very hard to punish this. Same with the exhaust recoveries. These are just very good options to kind of go for a neutral, but you don't want to take away stage control. Like on a small map, I wouldn't recommend going for them, but on a big map where you're able to reset, it's a great option for baiting a neutral. Look at the momentum you get out of it. It would be very good for baiting and getting people to miss. Just tons of movement. And next is the ground pound, which is just one of the best ground pounds in the game. Sends directly downwards. Very good mix-up. You can release it fairly quickly, kind of. But yeah, the hitboxing is very good too. And it true combos. So we're going to talk about how to hit the combos with it. But you could even go for like dare into gravity cancel ground pound. We'll talk about the combos in 1 second. But yeah, ground pound directly below. Just very good. Oh, one more thing, which I'm not used to talking about with these kinds of guides. The signatures, because they're all the same. Side sig, it's a horizontal punch. If you dash it, you get a good amount of range. So this is kind of like, if you don't think they're moving much and they're grounded and neutral and you need to get a kill, you just dash side sig. It has a little bit of startup, so watch out for it. There's neutral sig, which I don't recommend unless it's a follow-up for a single combo, which we'll talk about the combo it's a follow-up for. But yeah, not a great signature if I'm being honest. Just really good as a follow-up again. And the next one is down sig. This is an amazing stacked option. It's like the Neutralite, it's like the neutral air, but a signature version that actually kills. And it hits both forward and behind with fairly big hitboxing. Especially if you like gravity cancel it, it covers a larger amount of space because then they might jump into it. It's harder to avoid because if they do jump, they're still going to be hitting it for the next couple frames. Just a really good option to think about. And I'll show you gameplay towards the end of this guide. Next, we're going to be talking about the combos, the strings you need to know. And then at the end of this guide, I'm going to play some games, or if not, at least one game with Unarmed. And I'm just going to talk about the options I'm going for, why am I going for them, but they've all been mentioned throughout this video. So let's talk about the combo. So again, downlight your combo starter. Here's the most basic combo that you need to know. Downlight, neutral air. So it's downlight, jump, neutral air. And it's a very easy combo to hit. You can even delay it, and it's still a true combo. Downlight has a lot of stun, so you can do a lot out of it. So downlight nair is just kind of like a good bread and butter if you want to get a team combo going in doubles. People can follow up out of it. It's a really good option. You could even go for downlight gravity cancel neutralite, but there's not too much of a point. You waste a dodge going for it. And both the nair does 11 damage, neutralite does 14, so sure you get a little bit more damage. But what you can also do is downlight Sarah, and that's 13 damage. And this is more of a string starter. You can like downlight Sarah into another downlight if you really want, or into a neutral air. So if your opponent doesn't have a dodge and they're in like white health, you could definitely go for downlight Sarah nair, or like, you know, downlight Sarah there, or downlight Sarah downlight. Let me do that again. downlight, Sarah, downlight, and then you can go for a dare. And that is another one I didn't talk about, but downlight dare is another one. So if they're like next to the wall, you want to send them downwards, and it's a string starter because they're early in health. You could like downlight dare, and then you can go for like a nair or something. I'm gonna set the bot to actually jump, and you can definitely go for like, you can't really on stage, but you can go for downlight nair, or I mean dare nair. But yeah, it's a bit hard to go for on stage. Let me try and set the bot here. Reset position on. Okay, so check this out. Downlight there, and it's a little bit harder than this health. Maybe don't go for it at that health, but a little bit later on in health. You can kind of see what I mean. Especially it lines up for a gravity cancel. I just barely missed it, but yeah, it's a lot of dodge frames, but it can still hit. So if you downlight there, you see what I mean there? So if you know the options that you have aren't going to kill, like that's not going to kill, and we'll talk about these options in 1 second, but all of these, they're not killing. That one almost did. You can go for this, that, if I hit it. This is definitely more advanced and harder to go for, but if you know it's not going to kill, you definitely could. But yeah, pretty cool option. You can see how the dare is kind of useful later on in health, but I wouldn't rely on follow-ups out of dare. It's not like this. It's a very different. But yeah, so we talked about Sarah, we talked about dare, nair. Really anything is true outside of downlight for the most part. Just not... Wait, that's true? I thought that wasn't true. Wait. Oh my god, I didn't think that was true. It's hard to hit true. You have to hit it right. But that's still like... Because... Oh, that is true. Holy crap. Wait. Am I actually just finding this out? When did... Yeah, okay. It doesn't work later on in health. Because the downlight sends too high. That's why I assumed it wasn't true. But you could go for that in white. Yeah. Maybe I can raise the jump a bit and it's even less. Yeah, 1 dodge frame there. 2 dodge frames. Yeah, you're just delaying it a little too much there. But, yeah, that's technically a true option. Just a little bit inconsistent. I wouldn't recommend going for it later on in health. But hey, if you just want to hit a quick, easy signature, that down sig, that's 16 damage right there. Meanwhile, the Emily was 14, the Sarah was 13, so it's a little bit more damage, but you're wasting a dodge. But yeah, that's another... Again, everything is true outside of... After downlight, you could downlight GC sidelight. And even you can downlight, and that's a true combo. And so if they're early in health, this is what I'd recommend. Personally, I would go downlight, and then you can choose a string starter if you want. A little bit hard to hit the Sarah, so maybe you can go for a dare at this point, then go for a nair. Or you can go downlight. On the soft platforms, you can do it without a gravity cancel, but yeah, downlight, ground pound. If there is a soft platform, yeah, downlight, etc. This is DI-able, but it is hard to DI out of. So if you're anywhere from silver to Valhalla, people probably aren't going to DI out of this. So downlight into basically anything. It's just a bit hard to hit that third one. So dare, or ground pound, or recovery, etc. Downlight's just a really good option, and that's the one I would go for, because it's 8, and then another 13. That's a lot more damage than anything else. You don't have that final gravity cancel, so you can't down sig, but yeah, I would hit downlight over anything, as, again, they're going up in health. And then you have the other strings, like, you know, you could Sarah sidelight or whatever. I think you can, like, sidelight dash N-light. These are all strings, so I'm not saying that you should go for them. There's a lot of strings with Unarmed that you can do, but again, make sure your opponent doesn't have a dodge. Make sure that they can't get out of them, or they have less options to get out of them. Then they're more likely to hit. And you can kind of just keep extending anything. Get creative with it. I'm not going to go over all of them, because these you don't all need to know. Right? The important ones are the true combos, which I talked about with some of them. But yeah, make your own strings. You can get creative with it. Make your own flow charts is what they're called. But the combos you should know is I would go for the downlight all the time, at least in white. Maybe you can go for like downlight Sarah, and if they don't have a dodge or something like that. But yeah, in early health, I'd go for that. Even later in health, like at 100, this still becomes true, and then you can follow it up. Like, that's personally my flowchart. I like going for these. And then later in health, when you want to kill, downlight recovery is a true option, and you could either, I think you could even chase dodge the recovery if you really want to get complex with it. Maybe not. A little bit hard to hit with a chase dodge. Don't go for it with a chase dodge. Just downlight jump recovery. That's going to be the easiest way of hitting it. But theoretically, you can hit this any way you want because everything is true after downlight. It's, again, one of the best combo starters in the game, including downlight GCN sig. And as you can see at 160 health, downlight recovery, not going to kill. Downlight N sig does kill. So if you want a combo that, like, you know, it is a true combo, even though I hit it at 1 frame. But you want to kill a little bit earlier. Downlight ground GC neutral sig is your way to go. Another thing that you can do is just a raw down sig. That thing's gonna kill probably earlier than almost anything. Depends on the way it hits. But yeah, right now you're not gonna kill with anything. But then on 160, even I believe on the back swing, that's the front swing. Didn't kill that way, yeah. But downlight N sig is more consistent. Or you can downlight recovery like that. And that maybe could kill even earlier. Let's see. Whoopsie. Nope. Maybe 150. Nope. Yeah, they all kill pretty similarly. Pick what's best depending on the situation. If you can hit a raw ground pound, down sig, go for it. If you can hit a downlight, maybe go for the GCN sig if you really think it's going to kill. Or if you need some more damage, go for the downlight, and then go for a kill and see what happens. All of those are pretty good options. And in raw neutral, you can go for the down sig just like that. You'll see me try and go for it in game. It's really good for getting stacked and trying to get cross ups. Like when your opponent is crossing with you, it's a really good option. And especially if you're off stage, downlight ground pound, this is an insane option, right? Let's say your opponent's trying to get back to stage and you downlight ground pound. Like, it's kind of like a, you know, sit back down, buddy. You know, get back down there. Let me move the bot and I'll kind of show you. It's just an insane spiking tool that kills very early. Like, just like that. Look how early this thing kills. If I set them to 110, this might kill. Okay, let's go 130. Like, that is still, okay, 140 on stage. That's still ridiculous. Name another weapon that kills like that. Imagine when you're off stage this low, how early it can kill. There's no other weapon in the game, basically, unless you're playing, like, Scythe or Gauntlets that is that strong off stage. Unarmed is really, really good in certain situations. There's times where I play Lance, I want to throw away the Lance to play Unarmed. It is ridiculous. The problem with Unarmed is it doesn't build up damage. So watch out for that, but if you're trying to use Unarmed to kill or to win neutral, it's honestly really good. Or for landings, especially, because there, and you can mix up your movement so easily. So those are kind of the basic combos you need to know. Let's play an experimental game, Unarmed only. Going random. We got Fate, cool. And yeah, we're going to place a little bit of Unarmed. So you'll see, I hit the combo. And you see how that's not true. You have to, like, they need to be vulnerable in some way. Oh, I almost got that. I was waiting for them to be vulnerable. I should be going for the double downlights, though, if I'm being honest. Hit that. Oh, I didn't hit it true. That's just my fault for making a mistake. Ooh, that was good. This guy's pretty good. Oh, yeah, that dare thing is in this. Hit that nair neutral, and this guy's going all out with the weapons. No dodge. Went for it. Almost hit that. It's, again, hard to punish. I'm just gonna throw this. Cross up. Yeah. See, he crossed with me, so that's why I went for the down sig. If they cross stacked with you, like, it's a really good option. Oh, now he's playing Unarmed. He's not going to win. No dodge, so I went for that. Again, if they don't have a dodge, then they're probably not going to get out of it. I should have went for a gravity cancel downlight. Dare to mix up the landings. He's just throwing out a lot of attacks and missing. No dodge. Didn't get the extension. Okay. Dare to mix up the landing. And you could like dare in any way to mix up the landing, opposite ways. Like let's say I try and land here. I dare that way, mix it up a bit. You can see all the momentum, and that double recovery sometimes hits. The recovery's got so much momentum. It's okay to go for follow-ups with a lot of momentum. Ground pound, fake it, ground pound again. Still didn't punish me there. Gonna down sig, almost. That hit on my screen, you guys heard that. Went for a ground pound to mix it up. Thought he would go up, so I down sig, ground pound again to mix it up, baked it. There, almost hit that down light. Gonna ground pound to mix it up, recovery. Aw. And you can see I'm going for that down light a lot. You could go for the double down light. Gets a bit harder to hit later in health, but you see me going for it there. Because they can DI it a bit easier, because the down light hits a bit further. But yeah, that's how you play Unarmed in Brawlhalla. Thanks so much for watching. I could have even done better there. But yeah, subscribe to cosolix if you want to improve more at Brawlhalla. And I'll see you guys all later. Peace.